Hi.
All right, good evening. Welcome to our last session of Juice Plus University. We'll probably be hosting some more. We've got Jeff and Tony Olson and myself, Reagan Dean, and coming to you live out of Colorado. And we're hoping our guest is going to join us. I think they're having troubles this week as well. But either way, what are we talking about this week, Jeff?
Oh, well, this week is motion. So this culminates sort of the 4-episode series on our launch of Juice Plus University. We start out with story. If you want to go back and review what that means or what that's all about, really that's the cornerstone of our business, you go to the Juice Plus University Facebook page, and there's a YouTube for that session. And then the second week, we launched into strategy. So Tony Robbins calls it strategy. Eric Worre will call it skills. So that really anchored on the GoPro mindset, the GoPro skills, having the tools and the systems in place to apply your story and go to work. The third week was state, where we talked about just the mindset of an entrepreneur, the mindset of being resourceful, the mindset and the conditioning, some of the tools to condition your brain towards higher ground. And that was the third session. Then we all went to conference, and obviously we marinated in story and strategy and state and saw, the tools that made the people successful that were on stage and heard their stories. And so this week we're kind of putting it all together with motion, with action. As the saying goes, it's easy to bask in the false coziness of unapplied knowledge. So we learn our business by doing. It's all about the activity. And don't confuse activity with right activity, with those fundamental skills and those foundational skill sets to focus on, to build belief and make you be effective. And as the synonym for GoPro, as I like to say, is just be effective. Whether you do a little in this business or you do a lot in this business, the idea is to have some professional skills to be effective, whether it is you're working full-time or trying to get there full-time, or you're doing this in stolen moments. So anything you'd like to add on motion before we dive in?
It's what it's all about, putting what we've learned into action and getting activity onto your calendar, and it's structuring a DMO and putting it to practice.
Absolutely. I think that's huge. And I know tonight we're going to be talking about getting into motion and that momentum. And, so many of these things kind of lead up to that. It's hard to get into motion if you don't have control of your calendar. And I know for me, when I decided, I think that's the other word that's part of it, is when you decide you're actually going to do this, that you are getting into action and doing the things it takes to bring you new customers and new distributors, and just getting out there and doing it.
Right. So I would challenge everyone, if you're serious about building your business, to look at your calendar right now and what activities do you have? What high payoff activities do you have scheduled on your calendar for the next month? And I would hope that you have at least 2 to 5 a week if you're serious about building, getting to the next level. And that can be salad in a jar parties. It can be Facebook events. It can be one-on-one coffees. It can be webinars. But you need to have those activities in your calendar.
Reagan, question for you. When you started and you came in and kind of plugged into this tried and proven system, and you had tried some other things before, and what were the things that you focused on early to get you out of the chute quickly and on a road to being effective early on?
Well, for me, I had just a few hours a day that I could even do Juice Plus, because I had 2 small kids. They were 6 and 9, and so I used the time between getting dropped off at school and the time I picked them up, and a few evenings here and there. But
Okay, can you see me now? Sorry everybody for the delay.
He's on his iPhone. Well done, mate.
Yeah, we have our guest speaker.
Here's my phone. We couldn't get that one working, but luckily I was out, doing what I asked people to do, doing a meeting with the distributor, Adam, here. And
hi, Adam.
And we popped out. I'm like, give me your phone. This isn't working with mine.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad.
Well, that is a perfect segue to tonight's topic, is being in action and doing the work, and you're doing the work and you're doing this call. So thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm just finishing answering a question real quick, and then we're gonna come back to you, Luke, and I'm gonna introduce you. But Jeff asked me what I did to get into motion, and I basically booked myself. If I could give anybody any tip, it's run your business by appointment. So if I talk to somebody about Juice Plus, I have an appointment to find out what the DVD I had sent them, or the link I sent them these days, or to appointment for them to come to an event. So everything in my calendar was color coded, and that's how I got into action. And so what happened is I actually went through my calendar and highlighted everywhere that I could fit Juice Plus in. And then I went through, and anybody that was on my team, I asked them, do they need help with anything? And then I booked in that, and then anything that was left over was mine. And so I just do my own events in the time that was left over. So I always knew exactly when I was doing Juice Plus. So that's how I got into motion. So.
Well, as to your point, I'll reiterate what Reagan said, and I don't know if those of you who are listening in picked up on it. If you want something more in your life, schedule it.
That's right.
Well, and we've scheduled Luke, so let's get to our special guest.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm really excited for you guys. Luke just went National Marketing Director. He's been an entrepreneur forever, since like he was 19 years old, and he has an extreme passion for helping people with their health. He's a personal fitness trainer. He's owned health clubs. He's been busy too. Like, he's had weight loss centers and chiropractic clinics. He has a BA in sports and exercise management, and so many personal training certificates, which you can tell he's in awesome shape. So 20 years plus in the health and fitness and weight loss industry, coaching. He's inspirational. If you're friends with him on Facebook, you'll see that. And he also told me he was a 4-time All-American wrestler in college himself. So he's got his beautiful daughter Faith. She's 11, and Faith is really his inspiration as to why he does this business. So Luke just went National Marketing Director, and we're talking about being in motion. So Luke, tell us, what did you do to get to National Marketing Director? What kind of motion did you get into?
The biggest thing is, for those of you that don't know my story, about 5.5 years ago, my friend Lauren told me about Juice Plus, and I was so closed to anything because being 20 years in the fitness industry and having health clubs and weight loss centers, I'd been pitched everything. So I was numb to getting pitched. But luckily, she just shared the gummies with me. She said, hey, these would be great for your daughter. Meaning, she said, me, I probably wouldn't be on this call for you. So it's, approaching people in a way they want to be approached. And, although I was numb to being pitched, it was different than everything else, because fruits and vegetables just made sense. And so I gave it a shot. I figured results are faster than research. I didn't tell her that I quit taking everything I was taking at the time, spending about $700 or $800. Any athletes know on the phone that if you're doing natural bodybuilding or you're a top athlete, you'll spend whatever to get the edge. I was always interested in having the 2 to 5%, whether it's energy, health, strength, whatever. And I quit taking everything and just started taking these capsules. And after a month, I felt better and I was sleeping better. But it was the amazing changes I saw in my daughter that just blew my mind. She had these little viral meniscum warts, and we went to 3 different dermatologists, and they just said, they're a viral thing. There's nothing we can do for it. So I was like, you suck at what you do. Get out of my way. Next. Went to the next doctor. They told us the same thing. I had the 4th appointment set up when we put her on Juice Plus. After 10 days, her warts were gone. And we're like, you think it could be those gummies? No, it couldn't be that. And then her chronic constipation went away. And then she started sleeping through the nights. And then the darkness under her eyes went away. And we're going, I called up Lauren. I'm like, what is this voodoo shit you gave me? And she's like, Luke, it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And, I'm a guy, number one, so I have an ego. And then you put fitness career on top of that, and you think you know everything on the planet. If you didn't hear about it, it must not be good. So I was like, Lauren, if this is so great, I would have heard about it. Don't worry, I'll take it forever. Well, Luke, you should look at the business. I'm like, Lauren, I suffered from ITC, I'm too cool syndrome. And I said, I'm doing well. I love what I do. I don't need another job, and I don't need one of those pyramid scams. And luckily for me, for those of you that are on this call, the biggest thing I can tell you is no means no for now, not no forever. You just don't know. And the fortunes and the follow-up, and why most people suck at everything they do is they just don't follow up, and they don't make it about the other people. If you make it about the people, not about the product, people are buying you. What I bought in the opportunity was Lauren would have not followed up with me 17 times if she didn't believe in the product, she didn't believe in the company, and she didn't believe in me. Nobody would follow up 17 times. And it wasn't like she followed up trying to talk me into it. She just followed up trying to get a hold of me. And, you know, I stood up Cheryl Cortese probably 4 or 5 times on 3-way calls. And they're like, you stood up Cheryl? I'm like, well, who's Cheryl? I'm busy. I don't care who she is. She's busy. I'm busy. Like, no, I'd never stand up Cheryl, right? We had a call with her today. and luckily for me, she stayed with it, and she continued to follow up from a caring heart, you know, not trying to convince me, just saying, hey, I believe it's for you. Just check it out. Hey, just make it a strong yes or no. Just don't make it an uninformed no. And so I did. And what really blew me away was, you know, she got me on a 3-way call with Cheryl. Cheryl asked a couple good questions. I was silent for a minute, which doesn't happen often. And I just said, you know what? Yeah, I would look into the business further. And one of the keys I think she asked that I would encourage everybody on the call that really got me, or it won't be on this call, was she asked, would you be willing to look into it further? Not, you know, would you get started right away? Would you be willing to look into it further if, and ask a couple good questions? And then I said, yeah. And by the next day, I'm like, well, shit, I want to join now. She didn't even ask me to join. I want to join. It just made sense. And I grew very quickly in my first 4 months. Went to senior sales coordinator, was just shy of Q, went to the Roberti Cortese Q school. And then life threw me a curveball. I ended up getting divorced, and the business was the last thing on my mind at that point. And so 4 years I became dormant. I didn't do anything. But the thing I would tell you is, number one, Cheryl always says this, and every successful person does, is stay in line. You know, the thing is they made it about me. They didn't make it about the product. They didn't make it about the opportunity. They treated me like a person, not a position. And they were always there for me personally, as, you know, whatever. And we're in this protective Juice Plus bubble. Where else can you? I stayed for the fun. I stayed for the connection. I stayed for the enjoyment of it and being part of something special that's just rare in today's society. I mean, where else can you be part of something this great? I mean, those of you at a conference know what I'm talking about. Those of you that aren't, just buy your damn plane ticket for March conference right now. Because, you know,
Right.
How do you explain a sunset to somebody? You don't. Some things in life just need to be experienced. You wouldn't be on this call if you weren't interested. So just get to Phoenix. That's my number one rule. If you haven't been to conference, it's an experience. It's not something you can describe to somebody. Try and describe to somebody how it is when you get 8,000 people together that are all about inspiring healthy living around the world and helping people realize their dreams. You can't describe that. I mean, how long do you want me to take? 60 hours? I mean, that's a 4 or 5 day explanation, not a 4 or 5 minute explanation. So just get to conference. And I stayed involved because of that fun, that connection, that love, that caring, the atmosphere and the culture that you just is so rare today, that this is truly a company with a heart. And then what really got me going for it, Reagan, is in December I was with Jeff, and you know, I just stayed involved. And if you stay involved long enough, the things will hit you when they need to. And Jeff just said, Luke, don't let your comfort get in the way of your calling. Because I was able to live good, right? I at the time I didn't need it financially or anything, and you know, I've always been passionate about health, and my timing just wasn't ready. But they were always there. They were never pushing. They were always coming from a place of caring. And then in January I started my first 90-day game plan. And you know, in the first 90 days, I'd tell people right away, it's like they always tell you, your upline's probably already told you, you're going to put in 80% effort and see 20% result. And, you know, I didn't see the results I wanted to get in that 90 days, but I just stayed the course of action, and then went to conference, had a blast, did a play and stay with John and Team Rhino in Hollywood afterwards. And then I came home in April, and I went right back to my other 90-day game plan. And that's when I started seeing momentum take off. Started the customer growing, the new customer acquisition just started going through the roof. I got all excited, had a great end of April, strong May, and June was like herding cats, because in Minnesota, if you haven't been here, we have 4 months of good weather, 8 months of shit weather. So when the weather turns good, people disappear. And it was literally like Jim Rohn said, it was herding cats, but I just kept doing the daily discipline. It was like Cheryl said, you don't want to put momentum down by accident. And I just kept doing what I was doing, and it paid off in July. And then I finally hit that speed bump that kept me there for 4.5 years. Went to Q in July, and then NMD in August. And
Wow.
it literally was 3 months of activity. You know, when I really look at it, the first 90 days, I didn't give it all out. The thing I would tell everybody on the call is, when you do a 90-day game plan, just go all out right away. I mean, you can literally get to an MD in this business in 3 months if you really gave it everything you got. If you gave it as many hours with direct focus listening to your upline as you do in your regular job that you don't enjoy that much, you could beat NMD in 3 months. I'm convinced of that more now than ever. And it's just, I wasn't being as consistent, even in that 90-day game plan. I wasn't being honest with myself. And the number one thing was I got out of my way in May and just said, I'm going to share it with everybody. I had my F it moment, as Katie and John would say, and just said, I really don't care if people are interested either. They can get interested. And I would just tell them my buddies would say, well, when are you going to quit telling me about this Juice Plus stuff? And I said, it's this simple. Either you take it, or you die or I die. And chances are you're going to die before me because you're not on it. So unless it's an act of God, I'd just get on it. That's a quicker solution than dying. And, it's that conviction. And it's.
Shoot, we lost him. Hopefully he'll come back.
I would tell everybody on the call that's the most important thing to do, is to have that effort moment and just really go for it. It's really not the effort moment. It's the excitement, the passion, and the certainty you'll have when you're sharing it with people. Just look at the top leadership. It's like Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. The greatest thing about our business, you're learning from people that did it, not people that are living in theory. You're not going to college to learn from people that aren't doing what they're teaching. If you can't do it, teach it. That's the old verbiage, right? I'm sorry if I offend some teachers. 20% of teachers are great, but 80% suck. That's the same for every industry. 20% actually do what they say, 80% talk about it. And the biggest thing I wish I would have done sooner is just had that effort moment and just went out and did it and share it. Because when you flip that switch, it isn't like you just acquired the skills overnight. You're going to be the same person when you're a national marketing director as you are when you're a direct distributor. The only thing that changes is you share it with an unwavering belief, passion, and excitement. And people get involved because of how you say it, not what you say. The only way to say the wrong thing is to be saying nothing at all, because I got so much better in the last 4 months just because I put in more repetition into the last 4 months than I did in the previous 5 years, And now I share as many in a month as I used to in a year.
Hey, Luke, can I just stop you for a second, and I want you to talk about what you just said a little bit more, because I don't think a lot of people understand how the best way to learn this business is to do this business. And you said you started out, talking to so many people, and now you're talking to way more people. I mean, just talk to us about how you interact and how you occur to people now versus how you occurred and spoke with people 6 months ago, and what's changed between then and now is just the mileage and doing the work. Maybe just unpackage that a little bit for people.
Absolutely. And interrupt me as you get going. I get passionate, so I get on these rants. Just stop me, refocus me on what will truly serve the call. It's a great question. And the thing is the way I used to talk to people then, hey, fruits and vegetables in a capsule, it's like maybe sharing it at a 7 level instead of sharing it at, on a scale of 1 to 10, 100 level.
But you had to start at a 7. You had to start at a 7 and go to work. Yeah.
Start at 7, go to work. But the only way that you get better is by repetition. I mean, think about it, guys. Nobody on this call would even be walking today if the first time you fell on your ass, you stopped. You fell repeatedly and you kept walking. But somewhere along the line, we grow up and people think, oh my gosh, if you fall once, better stop. You could fall twice, instead of just buying padded shorts or something. I mean, realistically, guys, think about it. As a kid, why you got better and why you grew so much for 0 to 18 and stopped growth at 18 is you kept being afraid to fall. And so the biggest thing is when I share it now, I really don't care. Their outcome isn't telling me whether I'm good at what I do or not. Because think about it. The more people you share it with, the more you share the stories, the more I get on calls like this. They're like, Luke, how can you say yes to everybody's call? Because by me being on the call and sharing the story and talking and sharing my story and what it's done for me and what it's done for other people, it gives you more certainty through repetition. My goal is to talk from the point I wake up to the point I go to bed. And if I'm not talking, asking a good question and then shutting up. Because questions is what will get people. Like I told you, what got me was a question. It wasn't trying to convince somebody. It's going, hey, I really believe in something. If I could work with anybody, it'd be you. If I sent you a video, would you take a look at it and tell me what you like? That's simple. Chapter 5 of Eric Worre, guys. I don't have to tell you how to introduce it. I mean, all you got to do is share your story. We're paid storytellers, as Jeff Roberti says. Your job is to share your experience with passion, excitement, and certainty, because you know what the product did for you. You
He'll
know
come
what the
back.
opportunity did for you? Sorry, people keep trying to call in here. And once you know that, it's not your choice to go share it. It's your obligation. Negligence is knowing something better for somebody and not sharing it. For me, it's really not a choice, it's an obligation. And the difference in verbiage is the excitement, the passion, and the certainty you share it with. But as you share it more, there's no way you can develop that than repetition. And the best example I could tell you is think about anything you're good at. You learn faster through action and adjustment than you ever can through theory and learning. The best thing about this opportunity, guys, you don't have to go pay $100,000 for 4 years of an education you're never going to use. You're getting educated daily through experience. If all you had to do is talk to 10 people a day for a year to have unlimited income the rest of your life, would it be worth it? And if that answer is yes, then just go talk to 10 people a day. Don't call your upline and ask them what to do every week or tell them nobody's working, nobody's interested. If nobody's working, you're not working. Every month I wondered why my team wasn't growing. I wasn't growing. It isn't a coincidence that my team caught fire when I caught fire, because behavior is caught, not taught. If your team's not going, it's because you're not going. Nobody is going to follow a parked car, guys.
That's right. That's right. So
Did
I
that
know.
hit the question, Jeff?
Yeah, thank you.
So Luke, I know that there's lots of new people that are on the call, and they're all saying, okay, well, what did you do to get started? Like, how do you get into motion? What would you tell a brand new person?
Well, number one, I think it always, people come down to why or reasons or whatever you want to say, right? And I like the way, Sinead said it over in the UK on a call. She goes, don't say your kids, because you do everything for your kids already.
Right.
Don't be afraid to put the reasons. Maybe it is a trip. Maybe it is having financial freedom, and your kids are part of that. Find your reasons. Make a vision board.
He's popular. They're all calling in.
Yeah. We lose him?
He'll come back. He'll sign back in. Good stuff.
So if you're listening and you're wondering, you're still stuck, he said one thing that I wanted to ask him a little bit more about was being unattached to the outcome. And if you can come from a position of, what you know, come lead with your heart and have your head serve your heart, but if you can come from a place of sharing and not being attached to the outcome, you're going to occur to people with a lightness of being that is going to be attractive. It's when you get so wrapped around the axle about whether they say yes, whether they say no. And you referenced Cheryl Cortese, who's a legend in our business, and she just says, imagine a line as far as you can see, and you're just trying to sort. You're in the sorting business, not the convincing business. And so if that's
right.
the way to go out and then begin to interact, come up with, and this is your homework, come up with a list of powerful questions to open up dialogue. And if you're stuck there, seek your sponsor or seek your NMD or seek someone in your organization who you can get some coaching around asking a great question. You want a better outcome? Ask a better question.
Yeah, so one of the things that we teach on our team is if I could, would you? So, and you heard Cheryl Cortese say, if I could show you, would you consider it further? And so that's nice because it opens up that door. And I think that sometimes people skip a step, and instead of saying, gosh, I just want to see if you want to further the conversation or explore a little more, we immediately think, oh, they're either going to buy from us or join our team or they're not. And actually, we can't really skip that step of considering it a little further. So,
Luke is muted, I guess.
Hold on, let's see if we can unmute him. He must have unmuted. He muted himself. So, anyway, hold on, Luke. We're trying to find you here.
Just unmuted.
Yeah, he's unmuted now.
Okay, you're back.
Are you there?
Luke, are you there? Sounds like we lost him.
Maybe.
Well, if you couldn't get his energy and enthusiasm,
he's back.
Oh, you're back. There he is. He's back. Can you hear
All right.
it?
Oh, you're probably muted on your phone.
You're muted on your phone.
Try to unmute yourself. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Can you hear us? Nod your head.
Can you hear us, Luke?
Can you hear us?
I'll mute him and then I'll unmute him.
All right.
Oh, now I can't unmute him. Well,
Can you hear us, Luke? Nod your head if you can hear me. Jeff, no?
maybe we'll have him call back in. Anyway, Jeff, say so. I'm gonna text him something.
All right. So back to kind of where Tony started and where we started this call is if you want something more in your life, schedule it. So, you know, one of the things that as Reagan's trying to get Luke back on the phone or back on the call is that one of the strategies that we, through the GoPro training, have learned is to schedule appointments with your cell phone. And maybe get into the habit of 10 texts a day or 5, whatever you would pick a number and say, I'm going to send out so many texts today to just schedule an appointment. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. You want to grab coffee? Hey, what's going on? You know, love to reconnect with you. But texting, if you want to fill your calendar, and Eric Worre talks about this, if you want to fill your calendar, you know, we do our business by appointments, whether that's one person, a 3-way call, you know, an event. We're in the business of interacting in all kinds of events. And so we'll go back into the GoPro training, find the training on using the cell phone to schedule appointments because it works.
Tony, you want to add anything to that?
I was just going to go back to what we were saying about being unattached to the outcome. I did have a nugget I wanted to throw in on that, just because timing is such a huge piece. You know, if you know going in that, you know, the timing might not be right for someone when you're initially talking to them, there's no way that when I very first heard about Juice Plus, I would have said yes, no matter what anyone said, because the timing wasn't right for me. But fast forward a year and I was at a place where I was open to it. So that for me really helps to detach from the outcome, because when someone says no, that just means not now. And I leave the door totally open with them. And I move on to the next person, and I know that they're just sort of in a waiting area. So I know that makes a huge difference if you're filling up your pipeline and just moving on.
Okay, there we go. We're back with
Awesome.
sound. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We
Yeah,
can
we can
now.
Okay, I
Very
tried
good.
logging in again, but I couldn't. It wouldn't allow me.
Technology.
No worries.
Okay.
Thanks.
So pick me up where we left off. We tried to plug in due to power going down, and
Well, you were talking about, you know, you falling on your ass when you're walking.
Basically, you know, it's as simple as Tony Robbins says, guys. Repetition is the skill to mastery. You learn so much quicker by doing and learning as you go. There's nothing that creates faster growth than experience. If you don't say the wrong thing, you're never going to find the right thing, and you don't gain certainty by not doing it. You don't gain certainty by calling your upline and asking what to say. You gain certainty by going and saying the wrong thing. But when you're excited and passionate about it, you can't say the wrong thing. The problem is most people get discouraged, and I got discouraged over time when people weren't interested because you go, oh, did I say the wrong thing? Did I not get them on the phone to the doctor? I didn't use any doctors, any lawyers, or 3-way calls with anybody specific other than uplines and downlines and sidelines that just had a story. I never worried about it. If a doctor's not interested, I don't care. Only 1 in 10 is going to say yes. Next, there's a line of here to infinity. And the faster you figure that out and just go talk to 10, get 1, talk to 10, get 1. Celebrate when you talk to 10 and get 2. Celebrate when you talk to 10 and get 3. There's one point I got 7 people in a row because I talked to so many people. When I went from one person to the next person to the next person, I was on so much certainty. If they didn't get started when they were done, I'd just look at them and go, oh, are you stupid? And they'd go, what? You just asked me if I was stupid. I was like, yeah, you're not happy in your current situation. You don't have a plan out of it. I'm offering an opportunity for $50 to change your life. You're being skeptical about fruits and vegetables in a capsule as we're eating chicken wings and beer. You got to be shitting me. You know, I mean, think about it, guys. People ask me for the research on it. I'm like, well, did you call Coke and Pepsi last week? I'm like, it's been killing people for decades. You're wondering about fruits and vegetables? Obviously, you're not paying attention. You know, and it's just having fun with it. You know, I'd say the other thing, Jeff, as you said, what were the distinctions that changed it is, it's like Jay Martin says, lighten up and brighten up. I'm just having fun. I mean, I called somebody up and and said, hey, I just went to the bathroom and I thought about you because only a piece of shit won't call a buddy back when he said he had something to share, and they go, did he call back? I don't care, right? I'm messaging 10, 20 people a day. I'm calling 5 to 10 people a day, and I'm talking to everybody I run into. So I'm going through enough numbers that I don't care whether you get started or not. But guess what? I'm never going to quit telling you about it. Like, why would I? I'm just having fun. And when you got to realize, I think people get so serious and they try and push the few people they told about it instead of just sharing it with new people. Because if you keep going through the numbers, you're getting yeses every week. If you're not getting somebody in a week, divorce your story, marry the truth. You're not talking to 3 people a day. People go, oh no.
That's right.
Well, here's the key, guys. You got to talk to 3 different people every day. You can't talk to the same 3 people. It's easier to give birth than raise the dead, as Jeff Roberti says, because the thing is, you talk to 3 people a day, you're going to hit 21 people a week. You know what? People go, well, I don't want to work on Sundays. You're going to call it work to talk to 3 people a day? Give me a break. Go out in the field, bale some hay or something if you want to call it work. Talking to 3 people a day about changing their life, making them healthy, making them wealthy is not work, and you're talking to people anyways. Just quit talking about the mindless shit or the reality show and just say, hey, you want to get healthy, you want to get wealthy, you want to have fun, come with me. And, there's so many different ways to introduce it, but it's just saying something. And if you do that, that's 20 people a week. You're going to get 1 to 2 people in your business a week. As you get better, you're going to get 3 or 4 into your business or as a customer a week. And it's the law of averages. If you're not listening to Jim Rohn, network marketing, I listen to him every day. I listen to Eric Worre GoPro every day. Whatever you feed your mind with is what your future is. Whoever you hang out with is your future. If you're talking to more people out of this business than in this business, don't expect it to work for you. You need to be connecting with uplines, sidelines, downlines. Some of the most helpful people in this business are sidelines, like we're on the phone right now. It's the one industry where somebody that's not financially tied to your outcome in any way is willing to help you. It's a protective Juice Plus bubble, because everybody's passionate about the amazing product, the amazing opportunity. And the more you connect with like-minded people, the faster you get there. Proximity is power. When you're saying nobody's interested, it means you're not connecting with people in this industry and in this amazing opportunity and company every day. And that's your number 1 downfall, because you build belief by hanging out with people that believe in the same thing as you. And if somebody says you're crazy, somebody says, oh, that's a scam or this or that, run. There's enough people that won't believe in your dreams. Lock arms with the people that do. 9 out of 10 people don't have what they want. Don't expect 9 out of 10 people to get this. Realize that only 1 in 10 people have what they want out of life. Look at those people and what they're doing, and what you'll find, those people that have what they want out of life are more open to the opportunity. So you talk to 10, you get 1. It's nothing, absolutely nothing will replace going through the numbers. Nothing. That's what will build your certainty, your passion, your belief. If you just do it for 1 month and you don't talk to less than 3 people every day and you message 10 a day, people go, I can't message 10 a day. Are you kidding me? It's copy and paste. All you simply do is write down these 3 words. How are you?
Right.
You could do that to a stranger, they're going to answer. I do it to strangers. And don't go, oh, hey, check out what I'm doing. Just how are you? And realize that 3 weeks down the road, you might be telling them about Juice Plus when they ask what you're doing. But care about them first. It's given, you shall receive, not whine, bitch, complain, or get what you want, right? It's given, you shall receive. Just care about the person, and chances are they're not where they're at where they want to in health, or they're not at where they want to be in wealth. But don't pounce on them right away. Don't make it about you. Make it about them. How are you? 3 crazy words. Tony's CEO, Sam Georges, said that at the 6 Figure Summit at GoPro last year. He goes, life is a series of conversations. Quit worrying about the outcome and just start conversations. If all you do is start 3 conversations a day for 3 conversations a day at, how are you, and take it from there, you'll have more people getting back to you about this opportunity and sharing it with them than you can keep up with in a month. Trust me, it's that simple. It's not easy. Anybody that told you this is easy, they're full of shit. Anybody that's successful and has what they want out of life works hard. But guys, our hard work is calling 3 people a day, telling everybody we run into, and messaging a few people. On the side of what you currently do, and if you do that for 12 months, You won't have to do what you currently do. You'll just have to make people happy, healthy, wealthy, and having fun every day.
You know what? I totally built my business like, how are you? I put out only 2 DVDs a day. I usually had more conversations than that, but I put out 2 CDs or DVDs a day, and I left the house every day, and I wasn't allowed to come home until they were gone. And that's how I built my business, was how are you? Because what I found was that most people would say, oh, I'm all right, I'm okay, just the autoresponder. And I'd say, well, why aren't you great today? And 100% of the time it was, oh, I'm tired, I'm sick, my dad had a heart attack, the kids have been sick. It was really easy to open up a conversation.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
It is. It's a series of conversations, guys. So many of you want somebody to get it right away because you got it. And when's the last time you bought something the first time you heard about it? You can't put your belief on them right away and just realize that, you know, it's a series of exposures. If you just relax about it and just say, okay, well, let me know if you ever are, and you invite them to another event, you invite them to another call, you send them a video here and there. Every time you see they're sick on Facebook, you go, you know, I'm never sick, you're sick, might want something of what I have. You leave them a little audio note and have a little fun with it. Hey, I'm not hungover, you're hungover. I slammed the capsules in complete shake after I went home. What did you do? And just have fun with it, whatever it is. I mean, guys, I say that daily. I mean, how many people drink out there? How many would like to feel better the next day? Right? I mean,
Sure.
if you catch one thing, I'm just sharing it a lot and I'm having fun. And if you look at the people that are doing really well, you got some amazing leadership on this call. They're having fun. They're smiling all the time. It's like Jim Rohn said, it shows up in the texture of your voice and the smile on your face. Nobody's going to join something if you look stressed out.
That's right.
That's a wonderful way to sort of put a cherry on top of this call. And I think, you know, if you go out in the world and you smile and you ask people how they are, and you know, you occur to people as you're up to something, as you can, you know, if those of you listening tonight, I mean, Luke is up to something. And if I just want to sort of reference that Luke is operating in state, what we talked about 2 weeks ago, coming from a place, a state of mind. And if you're not there yet, you know, we build belief in certain areas. We build belief in the products. We build belief in we build belief in the industry we're in. We build belief in ourselves. And oftentimes that building the belief in yourself is the hardest part. You can see that Luke comes from a place and a position of strength, and he comes from a state that is attractive. And so if you're struggling there, maybe that's, you know, we all have our opportunities for personal growth. But if there's one thing I want to leave you with all tonight as we kind of close out is, you can't get away from the numbers. You see, once you get into that mindset when you're in the sorting business, it's just a matter of time before you get to your goal. So I want to thank Luke for joining us tonight. One thing I'd add in there, Jeff, and I don't want to make the call too long, but if you're in a rush to get off this, how much do you want financial freedom? You got people like Reagan and Jeff and everybody on the call. You just listen, okay? Take good notes. I'm just on here as a guest. These guys have been doing it for years, and they're rock stars in their own realm. If you aren't using them, you're crazy. What other profession can you get into that people are making good money and they're willing to work with you and you're at the entry level? You can't join Target or Walmart and get coached by the CEO, but you can do this in this business. That's why they have you on the call. They aren't trying to push you to something. They're trying to make you realize what's sitting right in front of you. And the other thing I would say, you know, you hit it right on, is it's in state. And if you're struggling with being in state, quit worrying about the business. There's 3 things that can change your state. I learned this from Tony Robbins. Number 1, physiology. Number 2, focus. And number 3, language and meaning. So, you know, if you catch yourself, before you go share it with somebody, if you go, oh, nobody's interested, I just had a call from my helpline, but I better go call 3 people. Nobody's going to be interested. That's a great point. You got to be in state. Physically jump up and down, go do a couple burpees. If it's cold outside, go run outside. Yeah, exactly. I used to do that when I wrestle. Slap my face because the guy would look at me and go, he's crazy. I don't know if I want to wrestle him. But it also waked me up, right? It put me in state. But anything you can physically do, take a deep breath, go for a sprint. When's the last time you walked and felt like shit? It's because you changed your state. You always feel good after a walk. So then you direct your focus on what you do want, your why, your compelling reasons. Then you create strong language and get on a rant and go, here's why I want this to work for me. Here's why I need to talk to 3 people a day. Here's how different life could be 12 months from now. That's going to get you fired up. Then you call people. You don't get in a negative state and call them. It's a great point, Jeff. You get into state and do it. And I know everybody's stumbling around what to do on Facebook. Just put something out there, but just realize that if you're not putting positive, inspirational, excitement, the same things we're talking about in person on Facebook,
They're going to be attracted to the way you're living, the way you're showing up every day, the excitement and the passion, and they're going to feel the bullshit if you're putting things on Facebook and you're not living it. You need to live the mission. It's simple, guys. It's become a product of the product, share the experience with others, and inspire them to do the same, and just realize, work with the workers. The ones that get it, work with. The other ones will come back to you. The faster you grow, the healthier you get, the more people become interested. I have friends now from 4 or 5 years ago going, watch my news feed going, well, man, I would like half the recognition you got last week, at some point during the year. And they get involved for many different reasons. We have the money, we have the recognition, we have the excitement, the fun, the health. I mean, what don't you get? So the biggest thing is get into state and really decide why you want this, and just get after it and share it with people. And let me know if you have any questions for me. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties tonight. Reagan and Jeff did everything they could to get me on this call. I think I'm the only one that can muff up that technology and have to use somebody else's phone to get on. But you got the leadership in front of you that most people would kill for in a job. Use them. You have amazing leadership that's putting these calls together for you, reaching out, doing everything they can to help you grow. And if you have questions for me, feel free to Facebook me. It's just Luke Wren. Make sure if you send a friend request, mention this call and send a message, because after conference, I had like 750 friend requests. So I don't want to friend them all, because one of my DMOs is I had 20 friends a day on Facebook that I don't know, because I don't need to be friends with everybody in the business. I can see them. I want friends that are going to look at my news feed and go, well, what the hell is he doing? He can just take 3.5 months and go to the UK next month. What? Then he's coming back here. Well, what? Then he's going to Australia. Like, how can you do that? What do you do? I want them curiosity of what I'm doing. And, I'm sure you guys have covered Facebook. If you haven't, just be posting to Facebook minimally 3 to 5 times a day with whatever excites, motivate, and gets you, but be a variety of things. I used to be lopsided on it. And I just leave you with this real quick. I know people are probably getting too long of a call, but this is straight from Katie Raby, who's done pretty good at the Facebook thing. Motivation, before and after pictures, the business, something non-JP, dinner, food, photo, what you're eating, live the mission, before and after. And I said that twice because 2 times out of 9 posts, you should be doing it, because results market better. How the business fits around your life and what you're currently doing, product, and then a leading post. And the example with that was Katie put up a post about a tattoo. Should I get it? And I was like, are you kidding me? And she's like, relax. It's a leading post. It's something to stimulate conversation, to get people to react and comment. She had like 70 comments. My comment was no way in hell. But do those 9 simple things, and Reagan, I'll text you those 9 things so that you can post it for people if they didn't write it down quick, because I know the call's getting long. But one thing I'd remind you, John Halawadi and Katie have both done really well at this in the last couple of years, but realize most of their frontline got recruited person to person.
That's right.
Facebook is a great way to fill the funnel, but you're never going to build a business without the relationship. Strong relationships, strong business, but it makes it a safe way to reach out and simply say, how are you?
How are you?
It's easy to send 10 to 20 messages a day, how are you? And then call them when they respond, or, continue the conversation. So, Facebook is important, but use it as a funnel. You still need to build your business based on relationships and sharing it both on social media and in person, because when they meet you in person, if you're not excited about what you're doing, good luck building a team. So any other questions, or I think we went too long with all the difficulties. I apologize.
Thank you enough, Luke, for taking your time to be with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Hey, I want to thank your wingman who gave you the phone.
Yeah, everybody thank Adam.
Hey guys,
just to let you know, I got
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you covering his back there. I appreciate it.
I'm trying.
You guys are not lying. I asked Adam 6 months ago, how are you, on Facebook. And he's been in the business 3 weeks. He's fast-tracked to BF, made $900 in his first month, and he's got 12 customers already this month. Woo! And he's got 2 college national championship wrestling teams on it. And he just spoke to 4 Olympic hopefuls last week that are probably getting started this week. And he will tell you,
thank you,
how you grow fast quickly is he brings the people, I bring the presentation. But now he's been doing that for 3 weeks, and he says the presentation better than me, guys. I mean, you know how you do eat, you know how you should. The capsules fix that. You know how many times a day you do eat. You know how many times you should. The bars and shakes fix that. And if you don't understand those two principles, or you think you're going to eat that nutrition, I can't fix stupid. And we'll just end it with that. Just realize when somebody doesn't get those two simple things, you just look at them and say, hey, I can't fix stupid. And they look at you, or you call me stupid? No, I'm just telling you.
Well, and there you go.
You can't fix stupid.
Can't fix stupid. All right, Jeff and Tony, everybody that's tuned in, thank you guys. Thank you to Luke Wren, who was amazing and so much fun. And I hope you guys were writing stuff down. This will be posted up on the Juice Plus University Facebook group. If you want to join that, just look for JPU. Right, Jeff?
Yep, JPU or JPU University, you'll find it, and you can join, and we welcome you to it.
And Reagan, are you going to Facebook tips if he emails them?
Yeah.
You?
Yep, I'll put this up on the Facebook group, and we'll also put this video up on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube under Reagan Dean.
Thanks,
Right,
Reagan. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye. Thanks, guys.